Joining me on the WION Newsroom, Adhya Juneja, who will give us all the insights from business. Nikita Singh bringing us all the updates from technology. And Athira Shashidharan, who will bring us the updates from sports. Let's start with the business updates. Adhya.
Well, thank you, Shivan. Global markets are reacting to fresh geopolitical tensions. First up, let's start with the commodity at the center of this recent turmoil. Oil markets have turned volatile, reigniting debate over Venezuela's vast oil reserves. Crude prices initially slipped on fears of long-term oversupply before rebounding as uncertainty dominated trading. Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, yet produces less than 1% of global supply due to sanctions, decay, and underinvestment. President Donald Trump has touted billions of dollars in potential US oil investment, but analysts warn any meaningful recovery would take years and billions of dollars. For now, sanctions and a US oil export blockade remain firmly in place, limiting immediate supply impact. Moving on to another volatile asset, Bitcoin has surged to more than 1 month high. The world's largest cryptocurrency rose nearly 4%, breaking above its 50-day moving average for the first time since October. Market chatter has also surfaced around potential Venezuelan state-linked crypto holdings, though analysts urge caution. Flows into US-listed Bitcoin ETFs hit their highest levels since November last year, signaling renewed institutional interest. Now, despite the rally, strategists say Bitcoin remains in a stabilization phase rather than a full-blown breakout. Moving on, US oil and energy stocks surged on optimism that American companies could regain access to Venezuela's oil sector. Chevron jumped 5%, while refiners and oilfield service firms rose as much as 9% on expectation of future investment. Analysts say Chevron's existing footprint in Venezuela positions it as an early beneficiary of any policy shift, but skepticism remains high. Infrastructure damage, power shortages, and political uncertainty could slow recovery for years. Goldman Sachs warned that any sustained rise in Venezuelan output could deepen long-term pressure on oil prices amid global oversupply. And finally, Tesla's European momentum weakened further, with UK registrations plunging more than 29% in December. Sales also fell sharply in France, Sweden and the Netherlands, reflecting rising competition and an aging model lineup. Chinese rival BYD surged nearly fivefold in UK registrations, rapidly closing the gap with Tesla. While Tesla remains Britain's top-selling EV brand, it has lost its global sales crown to BYD. And that's a wrap from the world of business. Now, for all the tech updates, it's over to you, Nikita.
Well, thanks so much, Adhya. First up, a Paris court has found guilty of, A Paris court has found 10 people guilty of cyberbullying France's First Lady Brigitte Macron for spreading false and abusive online claims about her gender and sexuality, including allegations that she was born male. Now, one defendant received a 6-month prison sentence, while 8 others were given suspended sentences ranging from 4 to 8 months. All 10 were ordered to attend cyberbullying awareness training, with several also facing temporary bans from social media platforms. Now, the court has described the comments as particularly degrading, insulting and malicious, noting that repeated posts had a cumulative and harmful effect. Next up, Indonesian prosecutors have filed corruption charges against former education minister and Gojek co-founder Nadiem Makarim over alleged irregularities in a pandemic-era laptop procurement that caused state losses of about $125.6 million. Prosecutors told the court that Makarim had enriched himself by around $48.3 million through the purchase of Chromebook laptops and Chrome OS for schools between 2020 and 2022. Now, they allege he designed tender specifications that only fit Google's Chrome system, effectively making Google the sole controller of Indonesia's education ecosystem. And finally, a U.S. judge has rejected Amazon's bid to dismiss a proposed class action lawsuit accusing the company of price gouging during the COVID-19 pandemic. U.S. District Judge Robert Lasnik ruled that Washington state consumer protection laws could apply to the case and said it was plausible that consumers had no meaningful choice but to buy from Amazon during shortages, lockdowns, and the shift to online shopping. Now, the lawsuit accuses Amazon of allowing third-party sellers to charge what it calls flagrantly unlawful prices for essential goods and of inflating prices on its own inventory to profit from pandemic-driven demand. Well, that's it from the world of tech. Now my colleague Athra would be taking you through some sports updates across the globe. Over to you, Athra.
Thank you so much, Nikita. Here are the top sports stories we're tracking for you at this hour. We'll begin with cricket first. Australia dominated the third day of the Sydney Ashes Test. Centuries from Travis Head and Steve Smith helped the hosts end the day with a sizable lead. Opener Travis Head scored a spectacular 163 off 166 balls, while Steven Smith was unbeaten on 129 in the process. Smith also went on second in the all-time list at the Ashes run scorers, behind only Australian great Donald Bradman. Australia are currently 518 for 7, leading England by 134 runs. England will now need a strong comeback to avoid a fourth defeat in the series. Over in football now, Nigeria have booked a place in the African Cup of Nations quarter-finals with a commanding 4-0 victory over Mozambique. The Super Eagles were on top from the outset. Mozambique, who were making their first appearance in the knockout stage, struggled to contain Nigeria's relentless attack. Nigeria scored 2 goals in each half to comfortably secure the win. They will now face either Algeria or DR Congo in Saturday's quarter-final tie. Over in tennis now, Australian Open is serving up a record prize money for its championship this year. The total prize money for the first Grand Slam of the year is $75 million. The total prize money is up 19% from 2025. Last year, total prize pool was worth $64.81 million. The two single champions will earn around $2.79 million. Last year's champions, Yannick Sinner and Madison Keys, received $2.26 million each. This year, first round losers will get about $100,750 each. Even those knocked out in the first round of qualifying will receive $27,200. Lastly, Novak Djokovic has withdrawn from his planned Australian Open warm-up tournament in Adelaide. The 38-year-old said that he is not quite physically ready to compete at the next week's tournament. Djokovic has won 10 of his 24 Grand Slams at the Australian Open, but has lost in the semi-finals on the last 2 appearances. In the recent years, he has scaled back his playing schedule in an effort to stay fresh for the Grand Slams. World number 4, Djokovic has not won a major since 2023 US Open, but was one of the most consistent players at the Slams last year. He reached the semi-finals of all 4 Slams. Well, with that, we've come to the end of the sports segment. It's back to you, Shivam.
Thanks so much, Athira. Thank you so much to all my colleagues, Athira, Nikita and Adya, for all those updates. That's a wrap on the WION Newsroom.